So examples of portfolio. Now, I'm not going to say anything about, this is public work, so I'm not going to talk about what happened to the person, the applicant, and I'm not going to talk about how they did or anything like that. But this is all public work, so it's stuff that we found. But I just wanted to make a few points. So this person, for instance, applied with a Google Drive full of JPEGs of stuff that they'd done. And you can see there, it's laid out really nicely. So I know where to go to look at comic designs. I know where to go to look at flower studies, for instance. It's, you know, and it looks image-wise, it looks very interesting. And clearly I can see that they're really into drawing, printing, and graphics. Okay, so that's really exciting. We look at that and we go, oh, you know, that makes us want to see their work. And then one of the things they showed was this, and clearly, you know, this is about them. We talked about this, didn't we, about copying other people's styles and everything. So Frank Miller style very clearly showing there, and Sylvain Vallée. We're looking at that, we're going, well, it's all right, but it is copying, and it's about her art studies anyway, this person's art studies. So that's, you know, okay, but it wouldn't get her an interview or a place in the course. But then we saw this, and this is the same bunch, and this shows that they've really thought through an idea, and this I think was for a new beer or something. Yeah, new beer. And you can see how they worked their way through ideas here, all the way from the nice sketches over here on the right to the kind of really stunning graphic branding over here. And so this to us was, we were going, wow, great. You know, not only is this person showing that they, you know, are aware of people like Frank Miller and doing stuff, but they are doing something unique, and they're trying stuff, and they've, you know, showing a process. So this was really interesting to us. Here's two other people, and in the bottom left-hand corner here, you'll see a common problem, and that is people send us a zipped folder of humongous proportions. It's like everything they've ever done in their life. They put it in a folder, they zipped it, send it to us, and they expect us to open it. This says 720 megs, which doesn't sound like a lot these days. But if the tutors are at home and having to open this, and in fact, this hadn't finished getting anywhere near full size for me to download in the end. I think it was a couple of gigs or something like that. And we're thinking already, why should we bother? You know, they obviously haven't bothered to put their stuff in a sort of a way that we'd be able to sort of look at it. So it just shows they don't really care. And, you know, from a student point of view, you might think, oh, I've got so much stuff, I want to show it all, and it's all, you know, stuff. And the more stuff I show, the more chance I get to get in. So you just put everything into a big pot and you throw it over to us. But unfortunately, that's the wrong attitude. Presentation is important and selection is important. Don't show us everything, just show us your curated best stuff, okay? So that's a moral there, is please don't send us zipped folders, you know, full of stuff that we don't know what it is. On the right here, we've got someone's Instagram account, and they showed us this. This is what they sent to us. And, you know, we looked at this and we could see some common themes. We could see some interesting things. There's a sort of pylon kind of photograph there. Then there's an abstract picture. And then there's some things with sort of skeletons, including a very interesting kind of skeleton sewing thing in the middle. So this was intriguing to us. And we thought, oh, we'd like to talk to this person because they're interesting. You know, the drawing might not be the most amazing drawing we've seen, but they're trying all these different things out, and they've clearly got a good eye, as we said before. You know, they clearly have thought about how their images will be read by other people. So on the right, you've got the right kind of approach where they just put stuff on Instagram, but it's interesting enough and clear enough that they've got a range of ideas there. They're an ideas person. But on the left, that's the wrong way to do it. To just send us a big file as if we have time to look through hundreds of pictures to find the ones we find interesting. You're in charge of your own shop window, remember that. Here's another thing we get a lot of, which is kind of notebooks with kind of some doodles or scribbles or things. And this one, unfortunately, wasn't enough. They'd done some kind of different eyes, but we never found out why or what it was for. They never told us. There was nothing else about this. So it's just a bunch of eyes to us. So tell us a story about the work. We want to know what the work's about. And that would help sell that image to us. So we didn't, I don't think we went and interviewed this person. Now, I've got a range of images here from somebody, and without me saying anything, I want you to just have a look at those and think what might be the most interesting image for an interviewer. So let's say you had these were sent to you, okay, because you were a teacher or you were sort of in charge of a university or whatever. Which image would be the most interesting to you? So just have a look round. So for instance, what I might think is looking at these, well, the Pikachu picture, it's just a kind of tracing of Pikachu, really. Not really interesting. Teddy bear, no. Frog on a tree with a cigar or cigarette. Well, interesting, but not really anything new. But then I look over at the picture of the cat on the moon, looking at the Earth, and suddenly I go, wow, that's an interesting story. What's going on there? When my mind gets racing. Why is there a cat on the moon? What's it doing? Look at Earth. How did it get there? Is it stranded? Is it looking at the Earth, wanting to get back, etc., etc.? So that image alone was interesting to us. The image of the spider's webs and insects, etc., weren't really anything. So this tells us a story. This says, give us an image which we can get interested in because there's a story behind it. Don't just send us pictures on their own, which don't really help us understand what you're about or what you're passionate about. Tell us a story in an image.